Breaking right now, a new dig, and I love this because it's subtle, from Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who have revealed that the heir to the throne and his wife are watching Netflix at the moment. They're watching one of the most talked about series on Netflix, but it's not Polo, executive produced by their brother and sister-in-law. Instead, they're tuning into the brilliant Black Doves, which stars Keira Knightley. I've been watching that too. And Angela Levin, what I loved about this is it was just a very subtle way of saying, oh, no, 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 no. We still like Netflix. We just don't watch Polo. And to be honest, Angela, the whole world isn't watching Polo. It's not in the top 10 in the UK. It's not in the top 10 in the US. That is quite an extraordinary blow, given that this couple has paid so much money and there has been a lot of free publicity as a result. And even Harry and Meghan's allies, Angela, are starting to turn. So The Cut, which is the big New York publication, which remember was the magazine that did that interview with Meghan. She let them into her mansion at Montecito and they ran with this big headline, Meghan of Montecito. Their headline on Polo was absolutely damning. Harry and Meghan's projects can't stop flopping. So I know you did your first review here earlier in the week, but you've been looking into what's wrong with Polo a little bit more deeply, haven't you, Angela?
This is peak passive-aggressive trolling. And the best part? It's not even really trolling. It's just them watching a show they actually enjoy. But the message was received loud and clear. Netflix is fine. It's just your content that sucks. See, when you create good content, people will actually watch it. But when you make content as boring as watching paint dry, oh, I'm sorry, as boring as watching Polo, then even Netflix can't save you. That's gotta sting. Imagine getting paid tens of millions of dollars and still producing content so bad that people would rather watch old reruns of The Office for the 100th time.
Yeah, well, the first one, to sit there for 5 hours and be incredibly bored, not so good at sort of analysing it. And then I thought about it and looked at bits here and there. And actually, it's absolutely astonishing what they've done. I mean, first of all, we said, they don't promote it, but they haven't actually tried to be part of it either. You only see them just for a couple of minutes in the last hour, and you don't know why they're doing that. Now, the thing is that Polo is very, very popular with the rich, and it's all sort of very high living. But Harry, for an unknown reason, makes these men seem absolutely awful. I mean, allowed all the swearing to stay, which was masses of that. There was a father shouting at his child because he thought that he wasn't doing well. And it's extremely embarrassing for somebody you don't know to listen them screaming at their young son and feeling very sorry for him. So I think Harry was sort of bringing out the negative side of these people who were, on their horses. And the other thing is they weren't nice about the horses. There was one where we see where two men crash into each other. That means also crashing into the horses and then giving them a whack. It was really quite awful to see. But not only that about the men, that they were, how they behaved towards women. It became sort of women's time in the middle, which I assume is Meghan, because I can't imagine why somebody should do that, because it's not about women at all. But you see this man who really doesn't want to go to his wife's baby shower, but he turned up for a very short time, but we had to stay. So we had to watch balloons. We had to watch the clothes for this new baby that was coming and just listen to a whole babble of women talking. Now, what were we supposed to be doing like that? And then the husband went off and she was very upset again. why do we need to see that? It's completely out of touch. And another one, a woman was lying on the bed next to her boyfriend, and she said, I don't know if you're going to stay with me. I don't know if it's going to be all right. And he says, no, I don't either. And off he went. Now, what's that supposed to be in the middle of Polo? Okay, just very, very difficult. And you see, Harry has loved Polo, and why then is he making it so, these men to be so unpleasant? He didn't mention the royal family at all, and King Charles and Prince Philip used to love playing polo, and you could actually add a little bit of history. Be much better than having a sort of moaning woman there who actually shouldn't have been there in the first place. It was sort of out of place.
Now this is where it gets juicy. If you don't know, the Cut was one of Meghan's biggest cheerleaders. They did this massive, gushy piece on her, basically treating her like some kind of royal saint. But now, even they are turning on her. Look, when your own fan club starts roasting you, that's when you know it's bad. Meghan and Harry have officially entered woke backlash territory. They've been given every opportunity. Netflix, Spotify, books, interviews. And yet, their biggest talent seems to be whining about the royal family while producing absolute garbage content. It's almost like South Park was right. These two don't want privacy. They want attention, but only if it's positive attention. The moment people stop pretending they're victims, everything crumbles. Okay, let's talk about Polo. 5 hours. 5. Who in their right mind thought that was a good idea? The only people who could sit through this are either hardcore Meghan stans or people who got paid to review it. And let's not forget, this isn't even a documentary about them. They're barely in it. Imagine signing a $100 million deal, and then making something so bad that you don't even want to show your own face in it. That's like paying Tom Brady to be in a football documentary and then spending the whole movie talking about some random high school quarterback. So let me get this straight. Harry makes a show about a sport for rich people and somehow manages to make them look bad? That takes talent. This guy has the Midas touch, but in reverse. Everything he touches turns into PR poison.
But Angela, isn't that so extraordinary that there was no, because I hadn't thought of that, there was actually no reference whatsoever to the royal family, and the only reason that Polo gets any coverage internationally is because it is played by a member of the royal family. But it's like Harry's bitterness towards his own family means he couldn't even reference that. It's very extraordinary.
It sort of came out on all these guys, right? And the guys were quite moany, and they would say, oh, we have to, work so hard because we always have to win. It's not fair. It's very difficult for us. We have to do it day and night. We live it day and night. It's very hard. Well, it's sort of, okay, don't do it then. It doesn't matter. They were really resentful guys who he chose to film. And what was that for? I mean, we also couldn't tell who any of them were because they all have their helmet on. And we weren't told of the name of who it was, who was so you couldn't actually feel you were part of it, because usually if you're with football or you're with someone on the bicycle, you're told who it is and you can watch the actual person and you can say, oh, I'm really for him, but this, you didn't
exactly
really
there was
know
no
was
one you wanted to root for. Exactly. But Angela, can we just talk for 1 second about this sort of incredible moment from William and Catherine? Because they have promoted this new Netflix series, which I have watched, starring Keira Knightley, Black Doves. Have to say it's a million times better than Polo. But this is what's really fascinating, Angela. Look, this is the Netflix X account in the UK. This is the official UK Netflix account. Now, they have reposted someone writing, Prince William also disclosed that he has been watching Netflix at home with the Princess of Wales, including Black Doves, which stars Keira Knightley. And they reposted that saying, Black Doves gets the royal seal of approval with stars around the word royal. But Angela, I then went and checked through all of the Netflix account to see, well, surely they must have mentioned Polo somewhere as well. Not one mention. It's as if even Netflix is embarrassed about it and actually much more proud about the fact that William and Catherine are watching their other series, Black Doves. What did you make of that?
Well, that's very interesting. I mean, that looks as if the contract is coming to an end,
I think so.
and that that it was coming to an end next year sometime. But I suspect that it'll bring forward because why have you got two people who have no idea how to produce a such a an important thing for Netflix? And they've let them down in every possible way. They must have wanted to do it and then got fed up with it. So Netflix is probably fed up with them, and it's all just a terrible, terrible mess.
And let's not forget, this whole thing reeks of hypocrisy. Meghan and Harry love to bash the royal family for being elitist, yet they spend their time playing one of the most elitist sports on earth. But it's okay because when they do it, it's progressive and relatable.
It's a disaster, isn't it? And I can't see it going on for very much longer because so many of the things that Netflix have done with them haven't worked out. So why keep on and on? Though that means they're going to lose a lot of money because nobody will want to take them on because they're so determined, or they're so argumentative, or they're so picking at detail that it just doesn't work.
No, I am with you. It is a complete disaster. The show is the worst ever in Netflix history. And if you want mine and Angela's full review, you can go back in our royal playlist on YouTube because we went for it, didn't we, Angela? We went for it. And let me tell you, Angela even reveals it was so bad that at one point she fell asleep.
I
But
never do that. I never do that. But I just was obviously, it was quite early, and I just,
that was awful. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I found it torturous. But look, Angela, we have to go on to this big, shocking, breaking royal story.
Mm.
Prince Andrew and the Chinese spy. Look at some of the front pages of the UK newspapers on Friday. Andrew advisor is banned. I mean, this is terrible, terrible optics, Angela, but potentially a national security threat. And does it not put the position of Prince Andrew again in some peril?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I've been horrified by it. It seems absolutely frightening. Andrew appointed an alleged Chinese spy as his business advisor. Now we know that years ago, Andrew used to fly all over the world, doing sort of business with all sorts of people, some not very clear cut, really. And he's actually fallen for this guy. He doesn't get the sort of protection that other royals get. I don't mean that physical. I mean people discussing things about whether he should go for them and whether he shouldn't. But of course, he doesn't listen, does he? We've had this before. That he just does what he wants, and it's absolutely terrible. But to have a Chinese man who's been a spy, who is picked out by the MI5, they don't just do this, just they think there might be something wrong. They've obviously worked very hard. Apparently, it began before 2000, the year 2000, and he went to Andrew's 40th birthday party along with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, you sort of think about that. This is the royal family having a huge party for him, and the people he's wanted have included these thugs, really. And yeah, so it's very difficult. Now, so instead of having advice by the royal, because he doesn't like to go anywhere near there and ask opinion. He has an advisor called Dominic Hampshire, and Dominic was actually on the side of the Chinese man, and he said that he could find, and he did find a way to get people unnoticed in and out of the House of Windsor. So this man was actually working towards helping Andrew see someone he shouldn't actually be having anything to do with. And he'd also said to this man, who's called H6, just for easy purposes, that he'll be sitting right up the tree, and which many people would absolutely long to be at. And that means he was sitting next to Andrew. So he was encouraged to help him, and they were trying to do all sort of business. And the Chinese man was also trying to obviously get information about members of the royal family.
Give me a break. Look, at this point it's clear. Meghan and Harry's Hollywood experiment is failing. Their star power is dimming, their projects are flopping, and their former allies in the media are abandoning ship. Even Prince William and Catherine don't have to lift a finger to make them look bad anymore. They're doing it all by themselves. So what's next? Another whiny tell-all book? A reality show? Maybe a podcast where they talk about how hard it is to be rich and famous? Who knows? But one thing's for sure. People are getting tired of their act. Will Netflix finally cut their losses and drop Harry and Meghan? Will William and Catherine continue to destroy them with effortless elegance? Or will the Sussexes somehow find a way to embarrass themselves even more? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, like, share and subscribe for more.